Look at this beauty. Oh, Husqvarna. So this is the new Svartpilen 401, and once again, a massive shout out to KTM Kollam and the team. Abhilash, Anandu, Rahul, I must name them. Thanks a ton for giving this opportunity. Thanks a ton. No other words. Look at these brakes. Oh, loving it. Fuel range shows 30 kilometers. So once again, this won't be such a lengthy ride like the Dukes, because this is just a temporary registered vehicle. So and this is beautiful. I like the seating posture for some reason. Even though it's a bit bent, you have to lean forward, I still like it. And these mirrors are excellent. I have to check whether this is the same engine as the Duke 350, because I don't know. I have to check it. Oh, it does pull. It does pull. There is definitely a lot of getting used to the seating posture, but at the same time, you have the freedom of movement. You have a pretty much, it's a good kind of freedom of movement. So you can sit a bit forward, so which will give you an upright stance, but at the same time you can use the seat to the maximum, and you'll get more of an aggressive posture. But when you're in the aggressive posture, you don't get much of a hugging space, but still it's okay. It kind of feels empty around this section of the thighs, so but still it's okay, I think. So these are just like initial thoughts, so not even a proper impressions video, and there is power. There is definitely some power on offer. Brakes are really good. Brakes are good. I love the brakes. Finally some nice brakes. So they have not specifically told me to fill the fuel, but as a courtesy, I think I'll do it. So once again, the clutch has to be compressed fully, just like the Duke series. So that's another point. Let's try to find the neutral. You shouldn't leave the clutch so easily. Okay, so the easy shift is on. Now it's off. I don't know if it makes any difference. There is a lot of thing to test out. I'm not changing anything because this is not even a fully registered bike. It's temporarily registered, so I don't want to mess any settings. So let's see by default how it is. A very sweet exhaust note. I like it. And where is this guy going? The engine is already warm, so this is quite unusual from the Duke 390. I don't know if they share the same engine. I think I've already mentioned that. I don't think so, because heating management is not so good compared to the KTM's. Everything is made by Bajaj, but still I can feel the heat till just below the knees. I can really feel it. So probably because I have predominantly ridden it in city-ish kind of conditions. Let's see how it takes on bumps. Suspension is like the KTM's, I presume, a bit on stiffer side. But what I like the most about this bike so far are the brakes. The brakes are just super precise, brilliant, and look at the way it stops. It's brilliant. I think it's even better than the Duke 390. These brakes are just amazing, just the way I like it. Okay. It pulls happily, there's no doubt about that. It just pulls and pulls and pulls happily without any issues. Today it's a bit unusually windy, so while pushing it I could feel the crosswinds a bit, but this bike is not so light, I think, so it was not unstable like the Duke 250 which I rode today itself. This bike loves cornering. You can just throw it into a corner. I don't feel that comfortable, but it's not the issue of the bike. I personally don't feel comfortable because I have not gotten used to this bike that much in order to push it around the corners. But the way it behaves is just amazing. I really like how the tires feel, how engaging it feels when you're going into a corner. You can feel that the bike is obliging, and if you know how to ride it, this is going to be fun. That's what I feel. So coming to vibrations are definitely on the high end. Let's try being, no, if you downshift also, no, it's more. So like going in 4th gear, there is no engine knocking, absolutely none whatsoever. So let's go down even further. No engine knocking. Smooth in that regard, but there are vibrations. You can feel the vibrations here. You can feel the vibrations on your foot. You can definitely feel the vibrations on the handlebar, and it does translate over to the mirrors. Just watch the mirrors, how it kind of vibrates. Again, it's buzzy kind, but still visibility might be an issue with this kind of vibration. So not super refined in terms of vibration. Okay, when I push the bike and it's around like 9,000 RPMs, the vibrations are like there a lot. There are a lot of vibrations in higher RPMs, which is what I mean to say. Suspension is definitely on the stiffer side, but as I always say, that will definitely help in handling. I just trying out the confidence inspiring nature of the bike on terrain where there is a bit of sand mixed on the tarmac, so it's confident enough. So these are some kind of things that I check, because these can be encountered in daily life. So I'm not a fan of the suspension. Is definitely, you can feel it. Definitely not the hitting a type on the back, but still it's quite bumpy. Not the soft kind of bumpy, but the harsh kind of bumpy for sure. Anyway, I don't have I hope this is the default settings for the front suspension, because you can tune it as well. So front end, it feels very good, no issues there. Still you can adjust it, but I think the preload has to be adjusted based on your weight and other things. I don't know the calculations, so it definitely has to be adjusted. So suspension by default is a bit stiffer setting, but I'm sure that if you take it on a mountain pass, kart road, this will be splendid in this setting. Maybe you can make the suspension even more sharper on the front, because this is not super sharp like the Duke with this current setting. So maybe if you make it more sharp, it will inspire more confidence going into corners. So if you're sitting back, you can definitely feel the pressure on your wrist. So that's something I've just noted. And I do have a wrist injury, so I can feel it on my right hand, so I can feel some pressure there. Yes, the front could do with a little more sharpness by tuning the suspension, so it will definitely make the bike more agile if you are tuning the front suspension. That's what I feel. Let's try standing up. No, standing up doesn't feel that good. Okay. Suspension is painful. If you want the bike to stop, just slam on the brakes in slow speed, and it just obliges, like, it's like, I don't know what to say. I can't find the words. And there is a road that I frequent, so it's coming soon. I want to try this bike over there. The smoothness of shifting the gears could be much better. That's another point. When you're sitting much further backwards, you can feel the pressure on your upper back. So you should do some core strengthening exercises to ride this in a fun manner. It's fun, but I don't call it refined. That's what I personally feel about this bike. It's not refined. I don't know whether if it's this individual unit, but there are a lot of vibrations. So while it's fun to ride, it kinds of hinders me from pushing it. So as I mentioned before, once it reaches like 9,000 rpm, even less than that, let's say 7,000-8,000 rpm, you can feel more of those vibrations. You can feel them on the body itself. So just by going in third gear at such a slow speed, the bussy vibes are everywhere. It's not lateral vibrations. The whole bike doesn't move, so it's more like bussy. So the kind of vibration you feel when your mobile phone vibrates on your pocket, that same kind of vibration can be felt. You can feel it in your thighs also once you're hitting a certain RPM. So those quick downshifts are let's try without the no. I don't know if this comes with a quick shifter. It didn't feel good. It's too hard without using the clutch, so I don't know about that. I have to check that as well, I believe. So this is the problem with not reading the spec sheet. But still, again, I feel like you're at spec sheet, you can just take it and read it. I think you have to know more about what you feel when you're riding the bike. and I'm not sure if you can hear the sound of this bike. This is splendid. So the things that impress me in this bike are the sound. The sound is like a sweet, raspy, wonderful companion. Then the throttle response is good. I do like that. But compared to the Duke 390, not as much. Probably because it doesn't feel that refined. Then, yeah, the brakes. I'll stop talking about the brakes because these brakes are amazing. Well, what else do I feel? The mirrors are nice. You can adjust it. Something which I was struggling with in both the 390 Duke and the 250 Duke. The clutch requires full engaging, so you'll have to use 4 fingers. It's good to ride around in the city, but I don't think you need this much power just to be riding in the city. If you just want to ride around in the city, I believe you can go for the 250. And yeah, that's what I feel, because there is ample power, but I'm not super impressed with the refinement. I think I expected a bit more in the refinement front. This is definitely a head turner with the sound. So just a small tip: if you're struggling in the corners, if you're a beginner, don't look down. Never look down on a corner. That's not the way to take corners. The way to take corners is look straight. Look where you want to go. Always when you're riding a motorcycle, just look where you want to go and you're all set. So follow the same in corners, because I used to struggle with corners. So just a minute, we'll continue the talk. Yeah, I used to struggle with corners, and that tip helped me a lot in the beginning stages of my motorcycle journey. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to try this road, like a proper unpaved road. Not suspension is stiffer than the Duke series. You can really feel it. You really can feel it. I don't want to hurt my back. I think I did hurt my back a bit. It's surprising that the fans have not kicked in. Okay, I think just as I said that, the fans have kicked in. So, but still it is surprising. Maybe if the fans had kicked in earlier, this much heat would not have emanated. So, I don't know. There is definitely more heat that I can feel compared to the 390 Duke. Having pushed that even harder than this, maybe it comes to where I've ridden the bike also. Now I can really feel the heat. So once you're riding in roads like this in a slow manner, then yeah. So I don't call the engine refined. I have not watched any other reviews and I don't know what others are saying, but this is what I say and I stand by it. I don't think that the engine is that refined. It could be better. In slow speeds there are no issues, but slow speeds means 2000 3000 rpm. When the bike is idling at 1500 rpm, then what's the point of that? So it definitely has to be more refined. So unless you superbly like and love this bike, I would definitely recommend the Duke 390 over the Husky. That's what I personally feel. And I think once you tune in the front suspension, as I mentioned before, I'm repeating myself, but yeah, after having gone through a few small corners, I feel it would definitely help in the feeling on the front end of the bike. And I'm 180 centimeters tall, and I don't feel as much cramped as in the Duke 390. So that's another point that I would like to mention. Anyway, we are back to the showroom. Massive shout out to them again. Thank you, thanks a lot. So that was weird. That was definitely weird, putting the stand down. So anyway, let me show you the exhaust note. Well, see you in the next one. Stay awesome and ride safe. Thanks a ton for watching and supporting me.